English version of Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key is now finally upon us, and I have to say that I have been indulging in this game, enjoying every single last moment of it. I experienced the Japanese version when it released in September of last year, and even though I couldn't actually understand the game as, well, everything was in Japanese, I still enjoyed my experience. This time around, it's actually a lot better because, for starters, I actually know how to play the game, and on top of that, I can read everything that is happening on screen. Now that I feel like I have a bit of experience with Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, I thought that I'd give you guys my overall kind of thoughts towards this game. I know that a few people are, of course, waiting for the EU version of the game to hit the App Store whenever that may be, so maybe you want some sort of insight towards Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, and you perhaps want my opinion towards it. Today I'm going to be doing my thoughts towards Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. First of all, let's jump into the story side of things. Kingdom Hearts is known for having in-depth lore and quite a confusing story. Many people believe that Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key is irrelevant simply because it's a free-to-play app on your mobile phone. However, this is extremely incorrect. Unchained Key acts as an origin story to Kingdom Hearts, and chronologically, it can be seen upon as the first Kingdom Hearts. Unchained Key takes place years before the current events of Kingdom Hearts and leads into the ancient Keyblade War. This is of course why you don't play as Sora or as the trio in Birth by Sleep. Rather, you play as your very own Keyblade wielder, as years ago a town that goes by the name of Daybreak Town was inhabited by Keyblade wielders. The story itself starts off pretty slow. You get introduced into the world by picking a union, then serving the union by traveling through different worlds to collect Lux, or in other words, light, for your selected union. The different unions are run by the foretellers. There are 5 foretellers, and each of them have their own union they lead. In terms of the story for the Disney worlds, the player simply travels through them dealing with basic conflicts, like destroying certain Heartless to help out familiar Disney characters. Honestly speaking, there's not too much to note about the lore of the Disney worlds in this installment, as it's pretty linear. Like I mentioned before, the story does start off quite slow, and it does take quite some time before interesting plot points start to arise. As you get into the later missions, you start to realize that there are a number of different problems that are brewing between the different unions and foretellers. From what we've seen in the Japanese version, it appears that the game is getting relatively close to the events of the Keyblade War and an outbreak. Currently right now, the story isn't overwhelmingly interesting, however the story is ongoing, meaning that story progression is added and updates every so often. I suppose you could think of Unchained Key like a TV series where episodes get added here and there. Now let's finally jump into the gameplay side of things. So for me, I'm that type of person who's never really been invested in mobile phone games or apps at all. For some reason, they just don't really appeal to me, that much. I like the whole idea around them, and some of them are pretty creative, but I've never really gotten into them. However, Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key is an exception because, well, it's Kingdom Hearts and I'm a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts. But it's not just really that. The gameplay of this game is actually a lot of fun, and I know some people might hate me for saying this, but I've actually had a better experience through playing Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key than I did with Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. Now that's talking from the gameplay side of things. 358 over 2 days has an amazing story, so I'm not trying to talk down about the game, but in terms of gameplay, yes, I'm having a blast with Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key because it actually is a lot of fun. Now when you first download this game, and if you do have interest for it, you're probably going to find yourself playing this game for like 30 minutes to an hour to maybe even 2 hours. I remember when I first got the Japanese version, and earlier on in the week when I first got the English version, I was playing this game like 2 hours at a time, and it hit me. I was like, wow, I'm actually sitting in my chair playing a mobile phone game for this amount of time. It's pretty damn crazy. The reason why this surprised me so much is just simply because of the fact that it is an app. It's a mobile phone game, and the fact that something like that can distract me for that amount of time really does amaze me. I really do enjoy the gameplay of Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key because it's easy to learn and quite simple to pick up on. The one complaint that I do have, however, is it does get kind of repetitive with the missions. So Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key is laid out via quests or missions, and currently right now for the English version, there is like 200 missions, and all of the missions are pretty much the same. You simply just have to find a certain kind of Heartless, which has a little bit more health than the rest of the Heartless that you'll encounter through that specific area for that specific mission, and that is literally like all you do in every single mission. And there's going to be more missions added when updates and stuff come out. Currently, like I mentioned, there is 200 missions as of right now. But yeah, going back to it, the missions all consist of like the same thing, always finding this Heartless and always taking down the Heartless. And it does get repetitive, especially when there's only like 4 worlds in this game. I'm really not even joking. The main worlds are Daybreak Town, Dwarf Woodlands, Alice in Wonderland, or Wonderland, and Agrabah. And there is the Olympus Coliseum, although you only visit that for like 10 missions, and then it becomes kind of like a side mode. But yeah, there's like minimal worlds in this game, and you will constantly find yourself like going through the same areas like time and time again. And yeah, with the way that the missions are laid out and going through the same worlds like over and over again, it does get repetitive, and I really wish that like Square Enix kind of added more worlds into the game, and on top of that kind of mixed up the missions, like having some missions where you have to protect something for a certain amount of time, so like waves of Heartless and enemies will just kind of swarm in, or basically you have to collect like maybe emblems or kind of materials or something. But yeah, it's just literally always finding a Heartless and taking down that Heartless. Now of course, if this aspect of Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key was actually on a console game, like in a disc and everything, then this would be a major problem. But because of the fact that it's not really a huge problem, is because it is an app game. It's a game where you're meant to kind of just slip it out of your pocket, play it for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, then put it away again. It's like the type of game where you come back to and play it time and time again. Although some people do sit there for hours on end, and yes, I have been one of those people, it's really not a game where you're meant to sit down and play it like a console game. Although you can if you want to. Aside from that little nitpick though, the gameplay of Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key is actually really fun and quite addictive. The way the combat works in Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key is via these medals right here. Now I know what you're thinking, you're probably very scared because Kingdom Hearts is not known for having gameplay like this. You might even be comparing it to Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, but don't worry, if you were turned off by Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, don't necessarily be turned off by this, because I can say that there's hardly any similarities between, Chain of Memories and this game. There is a little bit of a thought process in Unchained Key, as sometimes you have to kind of think about how you correctly play out your medals with the different kind of values it takes to use their special ability when you're looking up at that special ability gauge in the heads up display. But aside from that, it's actually a lot of fun and it's very easy to pick up on. But like I was mentioning, the combat works via the medals, and medals are very important when it comes to Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. There's tons upon tons of them, different rarities, different ways they work. They all have their own special and unique abilities and whatnot. So yeah, if you get into Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, then you're going to be learning a lot about medals. But the gameplay works by simply tapping on the screen to, of course, just attack a single target. You can swipe across the screen to attack all of the enemies when you encounter them, or of course you can swipe across the medal to activate its special ability. To obtain medals, there's actually a few different ways to do so. The first way, and the easiest way, is to of course just open medal packs, which requires you to actually have jewels. Now, jewels is kind of like the micro-transaction currency of Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. It is a free-to-play game, but of course there are different kind of like pay options if you choose to go down that road. So, it's completely optional, but yeah, you can actually purchase medal packs and then you get like a chance to get like rare medals and stuff, all that exciting business. But don't worry, you can actually get jewels by just finishing missions and logging into the game itself. So either way, basically if you have money, then you're going to be able to get really good medals really fast. Otherwise, if you don't want to sink a single cent into the game itself, you're still going to be able to open medal packs. Now you can also get medals from simply just doing missions on the off chance, or if you actually encounter different raid bosses, sometimes they will actually drop medals for you. The cool thing about Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key is you can actually increase the rarities of your medals. So say if you started at like a 2-star medal, you can actually work your way up by combining different materials towards actually making it powerful enough to actually eventually get it to a 6-star medal, which of course is the rarest in the game. Of course, by increasing the rarity, you're then increasing the stats and the ability. You can also upgrade your Keyblade in this game as well, and there's a few different Keyblades to choose from. All of the Keyblades have their own stats and their own preferences towards whether they are better suited for power, speed, or magic medals. And yes, medals are based on speed, magic, or power, and you kind of have to work around that because some medals are more effective towards certain enemies in comparison to others. Now, aside from the Keyblades and medals, there's also this other thing known as the avatar board, and the avatar board is used to unlock outfits for your character. Now, the way that you unlock these outfits is you have to spend these avatar coins, which are of course gained when you complete certain different missions. Now, the way you unlock the outfits is you go into the outfit tree, as you guys can see right here, and you basically have to buy all of these different nodes with your avatar coins. Now, while you're buying all of these nodes, they actually unlock all sorts of other benefits and perks for your character, like upgrading your AP or upgrading your HP. So on top of the whole medal situation and Keyblade situation, you also have the avatar board. So from all of these, you guys can actually see that there is a certain amount of depth when it comes to this game in terms of everything you can do to make your character more powerful. And this is a big aspect that is very addicting for Unchained Key. All around though, I think Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key is a really good game. I mean, it's not like the game costs anything, it's a free-to-play game, and I think for what it actually provides you for a free-to-play experience, it is actually very, very good. For me personally, the best mobile game I have ever played, and I'm really looking forward to the future kind of updates that Square Enix eventually add to Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. There's always different events going on daily to get certain different materials or different things to upgrade your medals and Keyblades with, so that's always exciting, waking up every single day to see a new event going on. Of course, with the updates, they're going to be adding more story missions and whatnot to, of course, progress the story and stuff, so that's always really cool. In terms of the multiplayer isn't really heavily implemented in this, other than the fact that you can join guilds, and then within your guild, you kind of have like a total amount of lux, and you can sort of like show off, you know, like how much lux or light your guild has collected in total and stuff, and there's like rankings for that. Otherwise though, you know, multiplayer isn't really heavily implemented in this game, but that's really not so much of a big deal. This isn't an MMORPG, it's just simply a free-to-play, you know, mobile game on the App Store or Google Play Store, and it's a lot of fun to play. Whether you play it for like 5 minutes or get really into it and play it for hours on end, either way, it's an enjoyable experience, and I have to say, I really do recommend it. You've got nothing to lose, it's free to play, so definitely give it a shot if you have time to do so. However guys, I've been Cynical, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.